Today we're talking about healthcare and why it is the most vital business for mergers and acquisitions. Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Trilla Business. I'm your host, Samuel Romero, but everyone calls me Sam. And welcome to Trilla Business, folks, where we talk about all the latest tips and tricks available for your own business success. And I'm really enjoying the atmosphere and the kind of process I'm doing here for Trilla Business, for basically giving you all the latest tips and tricks available for business success. You know, it's a really karmic, very good thing that I am doing for life and for people around the world, such as you fine people that are watching me right now on YouTube. And I'm realizing that business needs to be talked about more than ever before, you know, especially if we really figure out why, you know, people in my generation and people in general in America, in the United States, all across the world today, are not where they want to be. You know, the reason I make this show is to answer your questions, and it reminds me of the most important reason why I am doing this. It answers to that reason, which is people asking the questions of, why am I not rich? Why am I doing poorly in the financial stock market? Why is negative connotation of financial literacy happening to me? You know, in the perspective of being a Gen Zer, being a millennial, being a baby boomer, being a Gen Xer, being a Gen Alpha, and being a human being and a member of society of the whole world, large scale. And that's why I do the show. That's why I talk about true and real business. That's why I'm here, ladies and gentlemen, for you to answer those questions. And it's why Trilla Business is my greatest creation on YouTube and on the platforms I do and conduct shows for you beautiful people who watch. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in as always, you know. But anyways, back to business. Let's talk about a very important business topic today that I might need to retrieve my notes from, but we'll get into that more later as we progress in this video. Healthcare. Healthcare, friends. Healthcare is one of the greatest business opportunities in the world today, if not the greatest, next to cybersecurity. Healthcare, ladies and gentlemen, is not only a very successful and possible career path that you can get into. It's not only like a very real and possible path for a lot of you beautiful people watching. If you're wondering why I don't have a job right now, or I'm confused about my career, or maybe I'm stuck at a dead end hourly wage job. No offense to that at all, but you don't know where you're going to go the next 5 to 10 years, you know. And instead, what you're doing is progressing in a temporary, very temporary type of job, like retail, like grocery, like any type of the jobs that you can get in many of the shopping centers and outlets and malls of America. And you're progressing in that company, realizing that that's not your end-all be-all. Your end-all be-all can be a very legitimate, rewarding path in a much better atmosphere, in a much fulfilling, more money path, like healthcare is. So, and there's plenty of other career choices that I'm going to be talking about in Trilla Business, like healthcare, that offer a much rewarding path to business success. But being a dental assistant, being a healthcare tech, being a nurse, being a tech tradesman in the healthcare field, like working on sonar or working on radiation therapy, and basically the CT scan technology that is in many of the healthcare facilities. Those are rewarding fields, my friends. And it's possible. It could happen to you if you just work hard for it. But not only there is the very good possibility in America today for you to join a career field like that. And the many career fields that I talk about, like, that are similar to that, would be like, obviously the military is a very good way to progress your career if you want to join the military and just work in a certain career that the military offers, to healthcare, to tech itself, to sales, to many of the trades that are out there, especially in technical trades where you can learn to be like a nail tech or a hairstylist, hair tech, or even being a pet stylist, where you would clip the poodle's toenails. There's many beautiful career paths in many of the careers of America today that offer those career paths. And we're definitely going to talk about those career paths more in future Trilla Business episodes. But what this video is about today is about healthcare, not only as a job, but healthcare as a business. Healthcare as a business, folks. We were talking about it in the last episode last week about how you can potentially own your own business through the mergers and acquisitions QLA path. That is very real and a very possible path for you in America to take advantage of. This video is now talking to you about the most possible path on how you actually achieve success in M&A, mergers and acquisitions. QLA M&A. And it's owning a healthcare business. Therapeutic centers, dental facilities, radiation therapy clinics, that exists. Foot specialist type of buildings, hospitals, and many of the other beautiful healthcare opportunities available. Those are all things that you can take advantage of in business success. Now, I'm reaching for my phone here to see if there's any notes about any specific healthcare facilities that we can get into. Because I always use AI, like I talked about, for progressing yourself in business. And that's what I use AI for. I use AI to pre-plan these episodes. Dental support, healthcare, staffing, patient transportation, dental support, physical therapy, clinics, senior care services, that's the big one, and medical equipment businesses. These are the best, most attractive businesses to merge and acquisition and acquire because healthcare demand stays strong. People always need care, and many owners may eventually want to retire or sell. There you have it, folks. Healthcare is the most profitable business to be involved with and to acquire as a QLA bot in Quantum Leap Advantage. It works, friends. It works. Because the demand for healthcare is never going away. People get old. Parents get sick. Children, unfortunately. And people, like the AI said, people are always needing care. That's why the insurance companies are a big industry in America today, in this world. That's why the hospitals are always full. That's why there's always the beautiful girls getting nursing degrees and nursing jobs. That I have not a problem with. I need some more of those. I need some more of that girl power in those nurse fields. You bet, man. I love seeing that program. That's a great program. Beautiful woman getting the beautiful job in the healthcare facility, in the field of healthcare. Can never go wrong there, my friends. But it's why this industry is always full. With people both in demand of the healthcare services. And more specifically, I'll tell you who's more specifically in demand of these healthcare facilities and healthcare services in America. You guessed it. Our elderly. Old folk. Good old unc and aunts. The old timers. Our elders that need our love, support, and care more than ever before. And guess what? People are living longer. And they're lasting longer. And they're coming with more needs that need to be fulfilled. So why do I direct to old folk homes? That's the key. I just said it. Old folk homes, retirement communities, caregiving older ladies and gentlemen of America. Caring for older Americans is one of the most prominent, dominant, successful businesses that you can get involved with today. Bedpans, my friends. Bedpans. And I'm sure there's stats that I can read up. Let's look up some stats. Because it's worth searching it. And this is going to be the greatest display of the modernization of artificial intelligence technology that I'm going to show to you today in this TB episode. AI. I'm going to put you on the spot right here. Because we're coming across the topic in this Trilla Business episode to educate the beautiful people watching tonight. We've come across the topic where we're talking about old folks' homes and older people needing care and services, and how people are living older in America today with the modern medicine that exists in America today, and all of the amenities and services. So with that being said, my question to you, AI, is can you give us some stats on like how these healthcare services are doing? Like, can you give us specific informational statistics from the web, from valuable sources on specifically healthcare services, facilities, businesses, etc., that specialize in the care of old people? And can you tell me how they're doing? Like, if it's a currently growing market. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, you get an answer. Power of AI. It's how it works, man. It's beautiful. You know, only AI can absorb all that nonsense that you just said and able to spew out an answer, you know. And as you can see, it's thinking, and it's searching all the data points. I don't know if my phone's too bright. I don't know if you can see that, but it's searching all kinds of data points, and then like, oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. You know, let me just skim through all the data. But who better than to give you the proper information, though, ladies and gentlemen, than AI? You know, it goes back to AI as to why you need AI. And as we're loading this conversation, I'll just explain real quick. AI is super helpful. ChatGPT, Base 44, Opus Clip, Gemini, Claude, you name it. It's there, man. Use it. Use it for your business success. It can break down anything from like understanding business to learning business to understanding the individual sectors of specific industries that you want to understand. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the answer. I always do this with my parents all the time, you know, where they're like, oh,
yes. The senior care, elder care market is absolutely growing, but it's also under pressure because demand is rising faster than the workforce and facilities can comfortably handle. For the episode, the clean Trilla Business answer is, America is getting older, people are living longer, and that creates major demand for businesses that care for older adults. Nursing homes, assisted living, residential care, home health care, hospice, senior transportation, medical staffing, and related support services. Here are the stats you can use on air. The U.S. population aged 65 and older reached 55.8 million in 2020, growing 38.6% from 2010 to 2020, which the Census Bureau says was the fastest decade of growth for that age group since the late 1800s. That means the customer base for elder care services is expanding. By 2050, the number of Americans aged 65 plus is projected to rise from about 58 million in 2022 to 82 million, according to the Population Reference Bureau. That is the big macro trend. More older people, more care needs, more healthcare services, more senior living demand. For actual facilities, the CDC says the U.S. had about 14,700 nursing homes, 1.6 million licensed beds, and 1.2 million nursing home residents in 2022. So this is already a massive operating sector, not some tiny niche. For residential care communities, basically assisted living and similar senior residential care settings, the CDC reported 32,200 communities, 1.31 million licensed beds, and about 988,800 residents in 2022. Even more interesting for business, 81.5% were for-profit, showing that private operators already play a huge role. Home health is also huge.
There you have it, folks. That's all the action that's happening in the world today, especially in America. And who better than to get the information than AI? Him, her, or itself. It's out there. The demand is out there. And healthcare, whether it be hospice care centers, whether it be old folk home retirement communities, whether it be even different types of care facilities that care for older people in healthcare today in America that you can research and do research on to understand about it more. The opportunity is there for you to own a business through QLA, through mergers and acquisitions, through doing it the right way with no money down, and you becoming a business success. My friends, this has been a brilliant show in Trilla Business, where we talked about all the tips and tricks about healthcare and why it's the most prominent business to own in mergers and acquisitions. Thank you, folks. Take care.